Righto guys, I'm excited for this. I've just gone and picked up the next 3 bits of meat. We've got this beautiful, absolutely stunning brisket. This is going to be cooked really low and slow. We're going to infuse this with some tallow, and then it's going to be a 24-hour cook on this bad boy. Really low, really slow. This is going to be super exciting. Super exciting.
Not a massive amount of choice for tallow if you live in Australia. This is Tassie tallow. I'm going to let you know how it goes, but pretty excited for this one. We're just going to put this into a container, heat her up in the microwave with a tiny bit of olive oil and a teaspoon of garlic, and that's what's going to be our injection fluid. Let's get on with it. Guys, the brisket itself is actually in the lower chest part of the cow, and because of that, it is quite muscly. In fact, this particular part of the meat and muscle lifts about 60% of the weight of the cow when it stands and moves around. So this is why we cook it low and slow, to break down all that goodness and the flavor. Parts of the brisket we've spoken about briefly before. You got the point, the flat. The point is the smaller, fattier part, and then the flat is the more uniform, lean part. If you are going to choose between the two, and because you don't have a massive size, then you will go for the point to whack on the smoker and the barbecue. More flavor, a bit more fat, but that's the go. Let's get to it. It's a beautiful slab of meat. Got this from the local butcher. You can see it's been cut. I don't have enough mouths to eat any more than this, but let's discuss it. So because it's been cut, I've got a bit of point and flat. So that's going to be helped by the slow cook that I'm going to do to make sure nothing overcooks. You can see there's a nice bit of marbling, one of the things that you want to look for when purchasing a brisket. And then the second thing is the flexibility, and you want to make sure that you've got look at that. You want to make sure that you've got good flexibility in your meat. Looking at this, there's a bit of fat here. I'm not worried about that. This I might trim off a little bit. Typically I leave about 1/4 of an inch, no more than that. That'll struggle, the smoke will struggle to get into and impart its meat flavor in the brisket. So anything more than 1/4 inch, you want to cut down a little bit. We're going to trim all this off because smoke really struggles to get through this stuff. And the only other thing you want to make sure is, one, your wood is dry. You definitely don't want to use green or wet wood. That's going to ruin this. The other thing is make sure you use the right wood for brisket. I've got a blog up which discusses all the different types of woods across America and Australia. Go and check it out. But on this particular cook, we're going to use some red gum, and we may even throw a couple of chunks of chili in there, and that's just going to impart a little bit of fruit flavor and sweetness to our brisket. So this is our melted down tallow. I've just put a teaspoon of garlic and some crushed black pepper in there. You can see there's not a lot in there, maybe 300 mils, and we're going to inject that into this brisket. Good thing about tallow is once you've melted it down, it's nice and liquid like this. But once we inject it in, it's going to cool down pretty quickly and then solidify until we start cooking. You can see it's come through and it's hardened on top. Put on our rub, but before we do that, we need a binder. Now, binders are quite important. What is a binder? Well, a binder is just a thin layer of paste that helps stick the meat, stick all your herbs and your rub to the meat. Now, you can use a lot of different things, right? Like you can use olive oil, water, mayonnaise, ketchup, hot sauce. On this particular case, and I've got this beautiful organic mustard with chili infused that I'm going to use. It's going to impart some flavor on there, and we'll stick our rub to that. You make sure you get it underneath as well, but that's a good start. Here's my rub. It's very basic. It's pretty much 50% salt, 50% pepper, with a teaspoon of garlic, paprika, onion flakes, and chili, and a tiny bit, half teaspoon of oregano. There we go guys, take a look at that. This is about to head into the smoker. It's a beautiful brisket. We've injected it with tallow. We've put on our rub. It's getting to room temperature whilst our fire's getting to smoking temperature. I've cracked myself a Pinot.
So I've just taken off the brisket. It's been on for 17 hours and it's already jelly. So we're going to wrap her up. We're going to wrap her up for about 3, 4, 5 hours, and we'll see how the temperature drops slowly. But at about 160, we're going to take her off, cut her open, and we'll see how she looks. Stand by. Righto guys, it's now been 24 hours. I was pretty excited when this got put in the esky. It was like jelly. It's been 18 hours in this Komodo, and then it's been another 6 hours resting. So let's get on with it. Let's give it a cut. Let's see the juices coming out of this bad boy. I'm pretty excited for this one.
All right guys, it's been 24 hours exactly to the minute. We've had this resting now for 6. It's been on the smoker for 18 before that. I've poured myself a Shiraz. This is the Hazel Grove 2021. It's gonna go beautiful with this. Let's go ahead and check it out. It's like jelly, it's flopping around. This is pretty exciting. Let's look at the juices flow out of this one. Oh, smell is absolutely amazing coming out of here. Came off at 203. It's been resting till it got down to 160 exactly. It is absolutely amazing. This is a pretty thick cut, but look at that. Oh my God. That is just coming apart. Wow. This, sorry for talking with my mouth full, but this is the poster boy of briskets. If we were on OnlyFans, this is so moist that this would be in the top 1% of subscribers. Absolutely stunning. This is by far the best brisket that I've ever cooked up. So I'm lost for words. I strongly recommend you give this a go. Let's get another one of these in. Look, I don't even have to cut. It just cuts itself. Look at that. I'm Big Ba. This is Coles and Corks. We're definitely onto a winner here. And please tell me how you guys go. I'll write my notes. They'll be on the website. I'm Big Ba. I'm out. Love yous all.